Alright, today I will be talking about Parasite Brain. Now, Parasite Brain used to be a low-level alien in a world of shapeshifters, which used to get their powers from these special cubes that were basically made from this very magical, science goo that was basically like a huge pool in a lab where, Parasite Brain used to work as a janitor who was basically abused and, not really treated all that well and basically paid, like, less than minimum wage and basically not treated well whatsoever, basically. Although I guess that's kind of redundant. Anyway, he decided, I don't like the way the universe works, and I don't like the way I'm treated in the world treats me, so I'm gonna go hop myself into the juice and, I'm gonna turn myself into the ultimate life form so I can take over and, make this world more about me and my ways and get rid of that pesky emotion and free will that is basically causing people to go astray. Which he was basically inspired to by after he tried to bring up his complaints to the boss, and his boss was very dismissive of him, and he was like, I see, so basically what he's saying is I have no empathy or, care or compassion. And if you didn't have free will or emotion, you probably wouldn't be able to do that. So once he turned himself into the ultimate life form, he kind of turned into a giant brain with a bunch of tentacles that had the ability to generate and, infect people with parasites, as well as very strong psychic power that he could project through these parasites, which, gave him the true art of parasitism, which is really not fun. He did go on to basically conquer his entire people with this. And then he went on to conquer more and more galaxies because he thought he was bringing understanding and order to them by basically robbing everything of emotion and free will, which he thought was leading to chaos and evil, which he really didn't like thanks to, his treatment back then. And he basically took over quite a lot of galaxies that were basically very far away from where Earth I was, which is where I live in one of the realities of Earth I. Well, I mean, I'm originally from Fairyland, but Earth moved to Earth I's moon in the base reality. Anyway, and Parasite Brain would go on to launch an attack on a camp, which basically would lead him to a confrontation with Dr. Ralia, who's another hero, who basically has the ability of the true art of empathy, which allowed her to basically use emotion as basically a weapon, and, a way to heal people, because she was basically training as a psychic doctor at this one camp that was basically for gifted people to learn about the psychic arts. And Parasite Brain was basically taking over the counselors there, and was basically trying to infect all the students because he wanted to use their gifts to basically kind of spread and take over, because he had basically launched a piece of himself into Earth Eye to basically try and take it over, which was one of his parasites. And that, wasn't, and Ralia was able to defeat that piece. But the main body of Parasite Brain was still quite a ways away, and came into my reality years later. And after a couple of confrontations, it would become on the side of Red Moon, since Lumina Knight basically promised that it would be able to have its way if it sided with her. Which she was basically able to prove due to the fact that, she kind of possessed the world canvases and basically had a way to basically corrupt them to basically make them into nightmare realities. Which is really not good, and is something that I'm going to talk about later. So Parasite Brain basically agreed to help her, more for its own goals rather than hers, though. Anyway, I'll see you later. Thank you for listening, and play games and have fun.